Beauty. To me, beauty means basically how you make people feel, the way, the things that you say, the way that you interact with people. A lot of people make people feel sad or depressed just based on how they interact with them, just based on critiques that they give them. I think that beauty has to do with being yourself, being true to who you are, who you were created to be, not trying to be somebody that you're not, or to basically idolize something that you'd like to be, but really reaching into your inner self and basically showing the world who you were created to be and what your purpose to become. I think that's what beauty is to me. Um, Growing up, I wasn't the typical. Well, in school, I wouldn't have been pegged the beautiful person or the let's say the pageant person that I am today, and that's because I had like really big natural hair and I'm of Haitian background, and so people wouldn't automatically think that, oh, she's a beautiful girl. I got teased for it, and growing older, that didn't really tear me down. But growing older and getting to know myself, and I think it's because I was surrounded by people that loved me in church, and I had really awesome friends as well that I guess related to me because they were of Haitian background as well, and they knew what they possessed. They were all really smart people, and so you know now people wouldn't think that back then that's who I was. I was known as a geek, a nerd, you know what I mean? The things I took interest in wouldn't be popular, wouldn't be deemed popular. I didn't interact with a bunch of boys, and so I think beauty is what you make yourself out to be. I try to bring light to people, and be as refreshing and as carefree as possible. And I think as young people and even as older people, because older people have a way of embracing anybody that they come in contact with, and even as older people, to just be refreshing to people and be open and be free and be basically walk in a sense that anybody can see the beauty just off of you because of the things that you say, the things that you do, the way that you act. That's beauty to me. So I remember one time, I've really gotten into pageants, and that's what a lot of people know me for. And I competed a few times, and unfortunately, when I did compete, I didn't capture the title. And I remember this one time, I guess I got in a little debate, a little argument with my coworker, and she said something that was really hurtful to me. I never confronted her about it, but I did forgive her for it. But she was just like, you've done all these things, but you haven't won anything. That's why you haven't won anything. And that really broke me down because this is somebody that I felt was supporting me, that was really pushing for me, And most of my coworkers, because they see my drive and they've always bought tickets or they've come to every single event to like support me. And for her to say something like that to me, it really did something to me, whereas it's easy for people to build you up and they build you up really high, and in that same breath it's easy for them to tear you down. And I think that was like a self-evaluation moment for myself too, because it's like you have to realize that people are human, people are people, and if I had let that really dictate the person that I am or the person that I want to be, I could have very well believed her. I think I believed her for a millisecond, like, you're right, like I have competed a lot, I have done this, I have put in work, I haven't won. What's the point? What's the point of going out and doing these things and maybe you're not capable, maybe the ability that you think you have, you don't. Maybe this isn't what God has for you. Try something else. Maybe this isn't your niche. I think that did roll over in my brain a few times, and I had to really like step back and like say, no, you're gonna let one person out of a whole bunch, dictate what accomplishments that you're going to have or how successful you're gonna be. Really, So even afterwards, I did compete again, and in competing again and not listening to what she had to say, because I'm sure there are more people that just didn't say it to my face. They probably said it behind my back and closed doors, like, Chantel really needs to give it a And I competed again, and I won. 2015 I entered the Miss World Bahamas pageant, and I won. And had I let what she said to me really get to me, and like take control of my life and take control of my purpose, I wouldn't be standing here with a story. I might not have tried again, And I don't think we should allow people that much power into our lives to just tell us what we should or couldn't do. It's not up to them. So for you, I want to tell you that don't just look up to a beauty queen and say, she's really pretty. I wish I looked like her. Really, you need to say, she is pretty, but what does she have? What else does she have to offer? What could she offer me as a young person? What does she stand for? And I think that's one of the things that young people never ask. They get caught up in the hype, and it's going to pass away. Someone that is extremely beautiful will not stay extremely beautiful, because these are the last days, and as quickly as pretty as you were, it's as ugly as you can get, especially when you never had anything good. You didn't have that beautiful energy to offer the world, and that fruit that can actually be planted and show that, I am beautiful because of what I was able to produce from inside to out. Be the best you, and don't let people dictate what your inner beauty, what you have to offer, because as big as the world is, one little bit of seed of something beautiful will make it much better for the next person that's looking up to you.